working in the Industrial Engineering Group of NPC Kanpur, takes the privilege and pleasure on behalf of RD Kanpur to cordially welcome our respected Director General Sir Shri Arun Kumar Jha, IES, CEO of the organization, who is present with all of us in spite of his busy schedule and could manage to join this inaugural and orientation session of 1 month e-training course on industrial safety. We are very grateful to you, sir, for gracing the occasion. Our respected DG sir is a postgraduate in economics who has also done his masters in finance from United Kingdom and holds the professional degree in law. DG sir is a very charming, enthusiastic and dynamic personality who inspires all the NPCians and motivates them, guides them for higher productivity. It also gives me a lot of pleasure in welcoming our speaker, Dr. R.K. Sharma, who is the Head Sustainability Indian Glycol Limited, Kashipur, Uttarakhand. And Sir has more than 33 years of working experience. Dr. Sharma is a Secretary of National Safety Council, Uttarakhand State Chapter since its inception. Sir is also a member of State Crisis Group, IFE India, NSC India, IAEM India, IICHE India, NIE India, ISIH India, IISP India, QCI, and many more such reputed organizations. In this session, we also have another speaker with us, Mr. Sanjay Singh, who is a civil engineer from BITS, and you will be happy to know that he is also an ex-NPCian who worked with NPC up to the year 2004 as EHS consultant. Currently, Sir is working with Capacity Infrastructure Projects Limited, which is headquartered in Mumbai as Corporate Head HSE in the capacity of Joint President. Sir has industry proficiency in EHS management and earned accolades from Secretary General, Asian Productivity Organization, Tokyo, for promoting the concept of EHS compliant green productivity in Indian industries. So you can say that the sir is the pioneer who introduced the green productivity concept in the Indian industries. Credit also goes to him to transform the safety culture at Tata Housing for his innovative approach and was honored to act as a jury member to Golden Peak Environment Award and Golden Peak Safety Award constituted by Institution of Directors, New Delhi. I welcome all my participants, seniors, colleagues, my friends, my team members who have joined this session on industrial safety, and we are looking forward to get useful insights about the topic from our expert speakers. It is giving me an intense pleasure to announce that around 500 participants have joined this training course, which shows the awareness and concern of people at large about safety issues in India. Now, I would request our Regional Director, Shri Arun Kumar Jha, IES, to give the opening address and uh, to inaugurate the session virtually. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Gupta. Thank you very much. First of all, on behalf of National Productivity Council, I welcome all the participants for this very important topic. I also welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. Sarma, Dr. Sarma and Mr. Singh, for agreeing to give this kind of web session. Actually, industrial safety, the protocol, the SOPs are well laid down, but the question is of following it. In India, we have always found that many accidents take place. And who can forget that Union Carbide disaster in 1984 December? Still, you will find some news or others keep coming about it. Actually, this kind of system or this kind of failure is always a human failure. We can always, try to find some kind of fault with the system, with the machines, etc. but 99% of time it is the human error. And I also tell everybody that it is a human mindset. It is the mindset which is causing all such kind of problems. Actually, skill is there. You can acquire a skill also. But unless until we convince ourselves that we have to follow by the copybook, we will not be able to achieve this. And while the same thing also affects our profit margin. Once there is a fire, once there is an accident, once there is a death, you can imagine the problem which industry will face. It is not a question of that owner or proprietor or the board of director will face the problem. It is all of us. If industry, if the factory is affected, every employee gets affected. So I think we should try to have a patient hearing, try to understand how this thing takes place and how we should follow it and how we should implement it while we go back to our own organization. So I think we'll have a very, very fruitful discussion today. And I hope that we'll have a good takeaway from today's webinar. Thank you very much. All the best. Over to you, Mr. Gupta.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. I think you have rightly pointed out it is most of the times it is the human error. The machines don't have the experience. They don't know who is working on them. Machines are continuously maintained, but it is the negligence and the ignorance from the side of the human beings which cause the accidents. And the second point, very rightly said by the DG sir, whenever an accident occurs, it is not causing any casualty to the assets, but it's also making an impact on the human life. So, whenever an accident or a risk or a near miss takes place, it is both the human life as well as the assets both suffer. And as far as the financial matters are concerned, it is a total loss to the industry, because whenever there is an accident, it becomes very difficult for the industry to survive or to revive again. And for the revival, it costs a lot of money. So as rightly said by the DG sir, it is a matter of concern from all our sides. uh, as a worker, we should pay attention to the safety industry guidelines. As a worker, as a manager, we should also be concerned about the industrial safety. And as the owner and as the proprietor, we should ensure that these safety industry guidelines are properly implemented in the industry so that no casualty takes place. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir, for giving your such wonderful and very impactful words. And with this, I will continue the session. Before I welcome the senior speakers for the session, I would like to give a brief introduction about a National Productivity Council. National Productivity Council is an autonomous body. This body comes under DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. And this NPC has pan-India presence. We have almost 12 regional offices all over India in almost all the major states. And we have one training institute at Chennai in the name of Ambedkar Institute of Productivity. And we have our headquarters located at New Delhi. We have the consultants from various backgrounds like industrial engineering, environment, energy, agribusiness, social economic services, IT. So you can imagine that the kinds of services and the variety of services that NPC is providing to the nation and to the industries of all type, whether it is a small industry, micro industry, or large scale industry. Currently, we are conducting the consultancy. We are doing the consultancy projects. We are conducting number of training programs, webinars, awareness sessions, web talks, e-learning modules for the benefit of the people in general. And if you go to the NPC website, www.npcindia.gov.in, you will be surprised that being an organization in which we have only around 150 consultants, you will see the kind of services, the kinds of services that we are providing, we have almost reached to every sector of the country. You can take an example that we are providing services in the agriculture, we are providing the services in the energy audit, in the industrial engineering, we are providing services in the production norms as manpower assessment. So all that, if you go through the website, you will have a fair idea about the both the HR related issues as well as the technical issues related to the manufacturing of industries. We are providing our services almost all aspects related to the industry, to the functioning of the industry, I should say. So before I think now the time has come that I should invite my speaker. First, I would like to invite Dr. R.K. Sharma. Over to you, sir. You can start your session and give your introductory speech and general issues related to the industrial safety. Over to you, sir. If you can hear me.
Yeah, okay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr. Rajat.
yeah, sir.
So first of all, thanks to NPC Kanpur for inviting me on this great platform for interacting on the very much required subjects and heading for which this training program is being conducted for the industrial safety. So first of all, I would like to use this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the NPC team led by Shri Arun Kumar Jhaji, DG NPC, and their team for the second in series online training course on industrial safety being conducted by NPC Kanpur. I greatly appreciate inputs and efforts in the drive for imparting such trainings for safe and healthy workplaces by such active initiation of online courses as initiated by NPC team. As last year, I also closely associated with Ms. Preeti and Ms. Ujjwal. So it is also a special thanks to both for initiating, designing this course for the large benefit for the employees in the industry. So we can start with a basic question. What is the importance of safety? Because safety is a single word, but what is the importance in our life? If you will see in a single sentence.
Sir, you want to share anything, any PPT?
Yes, I am going to share. Yes.
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay. I have given you the presenter, right? Okay.
Yeah, just you send presenter right. So risk is a part of our daily life, but accident need not be. That should always be in our back of mind, because without risk, life does not exist. So what is the importance of safety means? A safe and healthy workplace not only protects workers from injury and illness, it can also lower injury, illness rate, cost, reduce absenteeism and turnover, increase productivity and quality, and raise employee morale. In other words, safety is good for business. Plus, protecting workers is the right thing to do, which is the very much needed requirement. Now I'm just going to share my presentation. Is it visible?
It is visible.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. I give on the full slide. Now it is on full screen. So
Yes, sir.
safety, because the topic is given to introduce on safety, so there are the different terminologies which are being used in our day-to-day life in industrial culture. That is the safety, risk, hazard, incident, accident, near miss, unsafe conditions, safe procedures. And it is defined in perspective of the different activities and processes within the different defined industries. As we know, there are the number of incidents from there we can continuously learn in our coming future also. The important, if you will see the important incidents, as Mr. Jha also indicated, the Bhopal, which is always as a treated as a benchmarking to go ahead for in the safety fields. So before that, if you will see the major disaster in terms of the chemicals and process hazard point of view, they are the Flixborough incident in Nipro Limited, that is in UK, England, in 1974, 10 years before the Bhopal tragedy. And that is also a very big incident where the 28 people died, 36 other injured, and it happened in one of the reactor because there are the 6 reactors. They process the cyclohexane, which is a very highly flammable liquid, and due to not availability of the process approaches, process safety approaches, at that time, it was not taken care when they do some makeshift arrangement to continue the process. After that 10 years, there was a Bhopal tragedy, well known by all, 1984, and which is always remembered for the worst scenarios. And around 40 tons MIC methyl isocyanate, which escapes, and given the disastrous situation, then which immediately affected the 3,000 persons who died on the on the same day, and after that number of more death reportings were there, and still the things are going there and sufferings are there. More than 5 lakhs sufferings are reported, and this is the very big expenditure in term of, you say, the salvage and support, that is around USD 470 million that is spent. And if you will see the in recent time, last year, we also experienced LG polymers Vizag at Vizag. That is also in the same line of the Bhopal tragedy, where also there the havoc in the public when this styrene, which was being used, styrene monomer, they were having the storage that escaped, and that vapors affected the surrounding population. However, it was not so severe because the quantity wise, if you visit the quantity wise or the weather condition at that time, it did not turn up in a big disaster. But if you will see by these all incidents, they are the similar nature of contributory factors as factory siting, large product inventories, abandonment of safeguards, medical unpreparedness, and if you will see in terms of management deficiencies, so a lot of management deficiencies are also noticed. For example, lack of skilled operators, reduction of safety management, insufficient and poor maintenance, inadequate emergency action plans, failure of several safety systems, then safety systems under shutdown conditions for saving the money, then dependence on manual operations, and so on. So if you will see the overall concept behind it, that we have to have the proper planned approach at the workplaces. There are a lot of other type of probable causes of accidents which happen in all type of industries. And if you will list down the basic causes, there are some occupational safety, some are process safety, some are ergonomic safety, some are related to the environmental safety, and that combines in a different approach, like lifting, trips, falls, shortcuts, poor housekeeping, lighting, lack of preparation, process deviations, hardware failure, overconfidence, stress, fatigue, mental distractions, violence, and so on. So you will find one or more factors when you will assess any accident, or you want to learn the things from an accident. You will find one or more probable causes out of this. As I just indicated that in Vizag, this Vizag LG Polymer, Bhopal, then this one Flexboro, they are the process deviations, and they were bypassed, they were not taken seriously, and which converted into a big problem or disaster. So everything relates with the safety culture. So safety culture, if you will see, if we want to define the safety culture of an organization, is the product of individual and group values, attitudes, perceptions, competencies, and patterns of behavior that determine the commitment to and the style and proficiency of an organization's health and safety management. And the biggest thing is we have to change ourselves from compliance to integrity culture. Because first step, what we want to approach, that whatever legally is required, we do that one. And if you will see all the standards, codes, and supporting this one, you can say the guidelines, that only gives the basic requirement. And upon that, it is our individual duty as a professional in our respective fields to see in perspective of the risk associated, because risk varies from place to place, risk varies from individual perception also, and risk also varies from industry to industry, based on the nature of the processes and industry. So as Ms. Priti was also telling that in this program, this PSM also going to start as a part of this training course. So if you will see the process safety management, it is nothing else than the approaching the safety culture in a defined management approach. And largely this process safety management, it applies to the processes where we handle the chemicals basically. So management system for protecting people, property, and the environment from catastrophic releases of highly hazardous chemicals in the workplace. So it involves the integration of three broad dimensions. What are the three broad dimensions? Facilities, technologies, and personnel. So largely in three pillars, all these PSM elements are defined. So it is a systematically evaluating the processes using approaches to assess effectiveness of the process design, technology, operations, maintenance, non-routine activities, procedures, emergency preparedness, training, and other process elements. So after this Bhopal disaster 1984, all over the globe, lot of discussions started, and different countries framed out their regulation. They improved their regulation in perspective of the such type of incident backgrounds. So OSHA, which is a regulatory platform at US, they developed under 229 CFR 1910119. That is a standard. Was published in the Federal Register in 1992, and it contains the 14 key elements of process safety management, which covers each and every aspect of a process, related personals, and culture. And it is a regulatory requirement in US to follow this standard. What it have? They are the 14 elements, and if you will broadly define, that is the 4 classes. One is the knowledge and operational control, hazard identification and control, participation and management, incident learning and response. And accordingly, these elements, 14 elements, are used to define process safety management. So these 14 elements are the process safety information, like P&IDs, PFDs, equipment details, metallurgy, then related safety, instrumentation, everything related to the process safety process. Then operating procedures, written procedures for the operating the plants and associated services, then hot work permit and other safe work practices, contractors management, training, under hazard identification and control, process hazard analysis. Different PHAs are involved to evaluate the hazard and associated risk like HAZOP, hazard, like QRA, fault analysis, and so on. And there's also one HERA, or you can say the GRA. That is also an approach from where we can also assess our process with reference to the associated hazard and risk. Then it is also have the probability and consequences we can define accordingly and do the appropriate management controls. Then pre-startup safety, management of change. If anything is changed in the defined system, there is a defined system for changing with the help of all associated stakeholders. Pre-startup safety review, mechanical integrity, incident investigation and emergency planning and response comes under incident learning and response, and participation and management that covers employees participation, compliance audit, and trade secrets. So as a nutshell, I included these two slides in this presentation this year. So some basic concept will be there about the PSN in the introductory talk. So if you will see the this PSN, what is the process safety culture? So basic, nothing is different from our general safety culture. Only it is how we do things in our workplace. Then it is what we expect at workplace and how we behave when no one is watching. That is the most important thing, is outcome of such type of management approaches. That if there's somebody watching, always we take care. But more important than that, how we behave when no one is watching. That is the important thing. So that is a real culture inculcate at the workplace. Then the combination of group values and behavior that determine the manner in which process safety is managed. And it works because I think most of the participants will be aware that there is a PDCA cycle, and which is very, very popular and very, very much used in management system like ISO certification processes. So this is called Plan, Do, Check, Act. So what it means basically, plan, what is the actual meaning by plan, do, check, act? Plan means say what you should do regarding safe, chemical management or any type of management. Do means then do what you say. Check means you have to prove it. Then act means are you satisfied? Can you improve? So it is a continual cycle. Plan, do, check. So we have always to do in the same perspective. And the key objective is understanding the intrinsic hazard in the facility and processes, ensure workers are given sufficient information, training, and guidance, maintain an up-to-date inventory of all equipment, material, chemicals, health and safety of the workplace. And it also changes. The situations are also changes. As we are seeing from the last year due to this COVID pandemic timings, lot of hazards are also added in our daily life, even at our home, even at our normal activity, which relates with the hygiene sanitization. Everybody knows the sanitizers, and sanitizers is highly inflammable material because it contains 70% of ethanol. So, and everywhere we are using, even we are keeping in our cars, even we are having in our kitchen, even we are having in our workplace, even we are having at our house. But how many are aware about the risk associated? Because hazard is the associated part of sanitizers because it is an inflammable. So we have to think about in continuation to the occupational safety in with the perspective of our day-to-day life, because that also our part of routine job. So how to look for the best with perspective of values related to the safety. So always there are the three ratings: good, better, best. So in our primary classes also, we always got teacher comments like it is good, better, this is the best. So the same values are also applies in safety in a simple words, and how to define it in a different wordings or different perspective. There are a few samples I am going to present here that is developed. One is the safety is driven by regulations, as we just be discussing that safety driven by regulation, but it is a good approach. There's no doubt. But what will become better? Safety is driven by corporate culture. Means at our corporate culture, it is driven for the better safety. But what is the actually need? That is the best. The safety is driven by sincere concern. And whose sincere concern? By each and every stakeholder of the business of the company. Another example is safety is planned, because it is a good practice that we have to plan for the safety. But what is the better approach? Safety is pushed by corporate culture, because planning done in a different way by the different person. And if it is from the corporate culture, it is in a systematic way. But what is the best? It is a continuous process. Time for safety never ends, because it is to be done by each and every person, every time, whenever you are part of the system. Another is the good we can define safety is planned and implemented. Better is employees are fully involved in safety. And but what is the best? Safety is people focused. So basically it is largely, or you can say the in completely focused towards the people. Another is the good values. We may define safety benefits are seen. Better clients are safety benefits. See, because for the customers point of view, we do the safety things. So clients see safety benefits. So we also do. And what is the best? Everyone sees the benefit of safety. Anybody means ourselves, our family members, our society, all the stakeholders, they see the benefit of safety, and that is required. There are a few more that safety is powered by clients. When customer or clients ask that we need this requirement, for example, ISO certification, for example, ISO 9001, 14001, that is environmental management, OSHA's, now it is ISO 45000. So if there is a need, then we do. Better is safety is powered by the company policies. Based on the company policy, we do the things. And but best approach is safety is powered by employees. So employees full involvement, continual upgradation, continual improvement with the participation of employees, that is the best value for the company. Then safety is prioritized by corporate clients. Safety exceeds corporate standards, that is the better. But what we are looking for the best, that is the safety is in the culture and seen as an asset. It is not should be treated as a burden or you can say the waste investment. Another is the safety audit. We do always do the audits, but good audit always is there when the score is around 80 to 86%. Now the better is when we do the things for 87% to reach up to 95%. But the best efforts or best thing, that is the safety audit scores is above 95%, because that is the ideal approach, or you can say the ultimate safety approaches, because everybody reach up to 86, 80 to 86. Then out of all, the better one is the who score 87 to 95, but best, which are few. So always our values towards the best safety, our score, always we should see the score more than 95%. Then safety is a part of our company. Better value is the safety is a company priority. But the best is safety is a company investment, not the burden. So that approach, or you can say the values towards safety, always works. And other I developed one simple approach to understand the safety through a safety car, because everybody have the car and very concerned about the various component of the car, because any mishandling, or you can say that any downing of any component of the car may cause an severe accident. So how we can interlink all the terminology related to safety with the engine for our better understanding. So safety behavior, you can correlate with the engine which drives the car. So our behavior is also drives us. Then safety attitude is a fuel. Good attitude, positive attitude, it increase the speed or give the positive value towards the work. Then safety management is the accelerator, because as good as safety management will be there, as better at that accelerate the things. Then safety program is the direction of travel. As we make the programs in the safety, similarly the directions of the travel that indicates of this type of safety program approach. Safety regulations, which indicate the framework of the car. Different type of frameworks are there, different type of regulations are there, and it is associated with all safety concepts. Employees are the front wheels, because the company or business is driven by the employees who are the front drivers, or it is indicated in car as a front wheels. Conditions and procedures are the rear wheels, because when front wheels are the employees, it is also supported by the rear wheels with defined conditions and procedures that is being followed. So the movement of car is safe and is a defined approach. Safety audit is the 365 miles checkup. As we have the plan of checkup of the defined periods for the car, similarly safety audit is also every year there should be a safety audit in a planned way. Safety momentum is the speed of momentum of the car. Then management and safety committee, which steers, because based on the steering, you manage the complete car to the in a proper manner. Then enforcement is the road signs, because they are the on the road when we drive the car, they are the different signs, have the different meanings and have the different understanding. So enforcement of the safety is also in the same line. The safety standards is the travel path, roads, because standards are defined at the based on the defined standards, we have to plan our day-to-day working or business. So similarly, roads are also indicated as a travel path when we drive the car. Minor accidents are a flat tires. Only flat tires are there, then it indicates that there is something wrong. So similarly, minor incidents we can relates with that one. Unsafe condition is a broken headlights. Unsafe procedures are human errors. So if there's some error by the human while driving the car, that is a unsafe procedure. So all items must work together to be absolutely safe, as car also have the all components in the right way and right in a maintained condition. Similarly, all these safety components should all together in place for making safe workplace. How to go for safe workplaces with the help of different approaches. One of the approach is a safety hazard analysis, and it is also very practical, and everybody should adopt whenever any job is taken at work site. So it is also called as a JSA, job safety analysis. So I took a very simple example for better understanding, because it also used for all critical tasks and tasks that indicate potential hazards. Climbing a ladder, that is a common thing. Everybody used to this activity, climbing a ladder. So there are the different approaches: sequence, potential hazard, and solution. So what are the sequence? Sequence is, there are the only two sequence in such this activity: setting up ladder, and another is the climbing ladder. So under setting up ladder, what are the hazards? They are the angle too steep. Another possibility is damaging wall. Another possibility is ladder too short. Another potential hazard is poor footings of the ladder. So what is the solutions? So if angle too steep, there is a 1:4 ratio we have to maintain, like this distance from the wall and height of the ladder perpendicular. Then damaging wall, we have to place carefully. Ladder too short, get longer ladder, not use the short ladder. Poor footings, adjust ladder base. So the footing should be in a proper position. Another sequence is climbing ladder. What are the potential hazards? Slipping, there's the other pointers under slipping, then carrying tools, climbing onto roof. These are the only potential hazards. So how to handle this hazards? Clean off boots, runs for slipping, for avoiding the slipping. Maintain firm grips to avoid the slipping. Lift tools and with a rope, not taking with hands while climbing. And 3 rungs above roof, climbing on roof. So a ladder of the sufficient height that it should also have 3 rungs above the roof. So it will work safe. So there is also another precaution to be taken while such type of climbing of ladder. On climbing ladder, ensure 3-point contact always. So that also ensure your procedural approach. So this is a very simple example. Similar way, we have to apply JSA on our workplace site for doing the activities. So they are the hierarchy of controls by which we can reduce the hazards as well as the risk. So how it will be defined? There are the 5 hierarchy controls. It starts from the elimination, substitution, engineering controls, administrative controls, and PPEs. So elimination, what it means? It is the most effective. So at source, if we have removed the hazard, so the risk will be negligible. So physically remove the hazard means if there is a very highly toxic or highly inflammable chemicals or some highly unsafe machine is available. So by removing, replacing that machine or chemical by a less hazard or minimum hazardous option, you can eliminate the hazard. Or substitution, replace the hazard by the reduced hazardous material or reduce risk associated mechanism. Then engineering control, isolate people from hazard, that is one example. Then administrative control, change the way people work, like procedures, work instruction, you can update and monitor. Then ultimate is the PPE, protect the worker with personal protective equipments. But PPE, what is our practice in general working? That we use PPE as a first and last option. We does not think about elimination, substitution, engineering control, administrative control. Wherever any hazards is seen, we jump to the PPEs directly without having the brainstorming or discussion on the other controls, which is for long period controls. So it is also taken and granted as traditional safety because PPE is treated as a traditional safety solution for each and every hazard. So you can say that we are very over dependent on PPs. So our practice should be like this, that we have to have thought process on other controls. So there are some controlling risk approaches based on the hierarchy of the controls from most effective to the least effective. Most effective, change the process. Design, under design, if we want to risk at the design stage, design out hazards, automate the process, increase clearances in machines, etc. If there's a exposures, install physical barriers, install interlocks or two-hand controls. Then human factor, under human factor controls, install warning devices lights, install warning labels, decals, then follow written safety procedures, inspect equipments at the periodic intervals, whatever are defined by the supplier, or train workers. That is a regular aspect of the workplace. Then provide lockout or isolation, or ultimately the least effective wear personal protective equipment. So our approach from on the reverse side, basically, rather than thinking the solution in terms of PPs, we should start from the process integration, or you can say the change the process intricacies to see how we can improve the things so the minimum other impacts will be there. So ultimately, there's always caution comes. Can we accept risk? Risk cannot be eliminated entirely, as we also discussed earlier. So every process has a certain amount of risk associated with it. At some point in the design stage, someone needs to decide if the risks are tolerable. That is also called calculative risk. And it defines based on the approaches, different approaches, different process, because it varies from process to process, location to location, and so many other factors. We cannot design or define in a single line. Then each industry has its own tolerability criteria. So there are the different type of approaches. As we discussed here, every process has a certain amount of risk. They are the proactive and reactive. They are the two type of approaches. So proactive, what are the proactive approaches and what are the reactive approaches? Generally, if you will see, we always believe in reactive approaches rather than proactive. So our aim should also be there that we, each of all of us should be more proactive. How? There are the few examples. For example, for the proactive approach, we have to implement countermeasures to prevent an incident rather than reactive, implementing countermeasures after an incident has occurred. So that is a difference. Another example is perform hazard analysis and risk assessment. That is a proactive. But if we perform incident investigation and determine root cause, that is a reactive. So based on reactive, if we process, so the expertise of our this safety approaches or our profession, that decreases. Then another example, practice inherently safer design. Generally, what happens, we at the initial stage, we during the projects, we consider there's no problem. We do work with this lower level of equipment. Then later on, we will do the correction. And reactive is design and install additional layers of protection after an accident, because later on we are not able to stop the plant or stop the process, and based on the management pressure or the circumstances available at that moment, what we do, we add more protection layers. Even after some small incident, we add 2 more protection layers. But by adding more and more protection layer does not mean it will not have a disaster situation. because as more as protection layers will be there, the chances are more for an incident. So always our aim to practice inherently safer design. That should be our real goal. Sorry. If you will see, you also heard the word this Swiss cheese. That is also multiple, this related with the layer of protections. And after breaking one by one layer, the accident took place. So that also a very good approach to define an incident and how to control of the similar incident at our place. So it is true that there are always sufficient barriers available to reduce risk from hazard and prevent incident. Only we have to understand that, or we have to plan for that. So how we understand about the risk? So risk generally it is defined as a combination of the probability, uncertainty, probability, and damage consequences. So what steps to risk management we should use? We have to ask, or we have to gone through a process cautioning by ourselves or our team what can go wrong. That is the first starting question. The answer comes from the hazard identification. So for that you have to do some hazard identification. Different approaches are there. Simple, as I also told earlier, that is the GRA or HERA approach. That is a simple hazard identification. Then next is how often can it go wrong? That is the probability. So seriousness comes from that probability, and how it comes from the failure frequency calculations or some other tools associated. Next comes what are the effects and consequences. So how we will come to know what are the effects and consequences? That is it. Approaches, calculation approaches, effect and damage calculation, or different tools you can use. Next is risk acceptable. After getting the effects and consequences, the next question comes is risk acceptable. So now you have to evaluate that risk, what is the content of the risk and what is the impact of the risk. So we have to evaluate. Next is once we evaluate, there's a risk, defined risk. Then
I think Sharma sir, PPT has not changed. I think it is on the understanding.
yeah, same. I am just
Okay.
defining. So risk reduction measures after this, we have to plan for different risk reduction measures once we evaluate the risk. And ultimately, because it is true that there's nothing that we achieve zero risk. So whatever the rest risk comes, for that we have to have emergency management in place. So this is the complete approach for understanding, working, and continual improvement towards risk management. Next is what can we do? Generally, this question comes, what can we do? So there are the 5 steps. We definitely we do the risk perception. Once we perceive the risk, then definitely we can do the risk estimation. Once we have the risk estimation, definitely we have to do risk communication to the all stakeholders or for further working. Once risk communication is there, then we have to have approach for the risk reduction. And once we have the approach for risk reduction, definitely we have positive approach towards the risk elimination. So this is what can we do. Now the important thing when to start. Because generally what happens, always this safety expenditures not seen as a positive feature, or as a you can say the supporting of the budget. So when to start to look in these aspects? So a change which would cost rupees 1 at design stage will cost rupees 10. An example I'm giving: 10 at the detailed engineering stage. It will become 100 at the procurement stage. Then it will become 1000 at the erection stage, and it will become 10,000 in an operating plant. So now we have to thought process. We have to decide what to invest, or what expenditure to be done at what level or at what time. So minimum cost will come when you do the safety perspective or safety requirement inbuilt at the conceptual stage, that is the design stage. And highest, once we miss, that it will become 10,000 times or 1 lakh times of the cost once it is in operating condition, because there are a lot of other cost involved. So always try to put the things at the conceptual stage, at the design stage, as in whatever the required for the safety. And with this, there is an afterthought: how men have the learning processes. So there are the 3 ways of learning. One is first is the meditational approach. Meditation approach, that is the noblest. For example, we do the meditation for energize our internals, our soul. So nothing is defined, nothing is there. That is the individual efforts to go in depth and come out with a unique or required concepts or required approach, and that is the noblest. Secondly, by the imitational approach. Imitation means artificial, learning from the others, and that is the easiest, which we always use this approach. For example, even we also does not use this approach, learning from others sincerely, because still we are facing the similar things, repetitive things. There is a terminology, correction and corrective action. Always we believe in corrections, repeatedly correction of the same cause, same risk, but minimum approach towards the corrective action or preventive action. Then thirdly, that is the bitterest one, by experiencing. Once something happens with us, then only we learn. So there are the 3 stages. Always we should start from the middle, that is the learning from others. Rather than going down, we should go upside, that is the meditation approach. Means more involvement in the concepts, more involvement in the designing of any process or conceptualization stage. That is the most required thing. Generally, there are the 3 type of risk control measures: physical, procedural, and educational. And if we have approach, positive approach, or we are having the sufficient protection systems under these 3, we have the much reduced risk at our workplace. So what are the physical protections? If you will see the examples, there are passive protection system. Under passive protection scheme, which is the inherent design. In chemical industry, petro, oil, gas, one is the fireproofing of steel structure, because steel structure having the these are the load bearing structures in the industry. If there is a small fire at the foot of one load bearing beam, it may a disastrous situation, because weakening of a column boot, it may collapse the complete plant. So to address this under passive protection, this fireproofing of steel structures structures are done. So it increase the exposure to the high temperature, because in the petrochemical the temperature shoots up to more than 1200 1500 degrees centigrade within seconds. So these structures are provided for protection or capable to maintain the integrity of the structure 2 hours, 3 hours. These are different ratings. There's an NFPA approach or NBC. That if you will see the National Building Code, that also define different type of fire retardancy. And it also comes under different category, like fire retarding paints are there, fire retardant paneling is also there, false roofing, false flooring, tiling, everything relates such type of approaches, passive protection. Another is the active protection system, which act in case of emergency, like fixed fire protection system, inherent gas detection system, interlocking, auto system, auto monitoring, auto actuation, like this, different type of active protections you can consider. Then after that, this automatic protection system, because they are the various physical parameters which is to be controlled. So that is if have the automatic protection system. As I think largely it is known that DCS, distributed control system, are there, program logic control PLCs are there, computer supportings are there. Nowadays this industrial 4, this artificial intelligence, such type of approaches are there which support for automatic protection system and have the more rigid safety, inherent safety system. Then fireproofing, this PPEs, personal protective equipment, that is also physical protections in consideration of the protection of individual person. Then if you will see the procedural protection, then procedural protection, you can have the examples like work permit system, where the safety work permit, different permit systems are designed to work safely. MSDS, material safety data sheets. Then safe startup shutdown procedure, different procedures are defined under procedural protection. Then plant surveys, audits, periodic testing, then emergency procedures, disaster preparedness plan. There are a lot of you can define.
Sir, you can finish up fast. So actually, the next speaker is
Yeah,
also waiting.
within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
mutual aid schemes, no smoking policy, then investigations, hazard identification, safety audit committee, commission of safety audit committee. There are a number of procedural protection. So it also varies from case to case. Then even annual medical checkup, that is also procedural protection for health checkup or through health checkup to identify the exposures, toxicity, toxic levels who are exposed to the different hazardous or toxic chemicals. Then under educational protection, there are the safety manuals, mock fire drills, plant operation manuals. Then the most important thing is the educating the public living nearby about the activities in the industry. So which also found missing in our earlier incidents occurred like Bhopal, Vizag, or Flickboro, BP, Texas, that is also there. The number of incidents are there, you will found the lackings under these three protection systems. So how we understand the risk reduction? So we have a robust program which will help to reduce risk and avoid loss, to save lives, reduce injuries, reduce property damage cost. So these are the pointers which have the direct or indirect costs involved in the accident and to understand the risk reduction approach. So what are the safety management best practices? The most important thing is the senior management ownership and participation, because it should be driven from the top organization culture. Risk identification analysis, that is very, very much required. As I also told that basic requirement for understanding any process related to risk control. Engineering controls designed for safety, planning and validation of safe work methods, worker engagement, involvement, participation, training, validation of training also. There should be a continual improvement based on the understanding. Then contractors, subcontractor management, emergency and crisis management. So working with known and calculated risks, that is very, very much required. So safety is also denotes as S for safety, search for hazard, A for analyze the risk, F for find the cause, E for eliminate the cause, and T for tell others, and why you are safe. If you will understand and follow the alphabet meaning of SAFETY, safety, the complete safety comes under the defined perspective. They are the risk analysis paradigm. Everything we do involve risk that have the risk. So zero risk is unachievable and options exist for managing every risk. So always we have to think in this perspective. There's one slide I have put that the power of habit. So we have to understand something about the habit. So read it and understand it for the power of your habit. Because whatever you make your habit, that support you for the incremental approach or decremental approach. And that is very much required. So at the end, I will close with this word. Remember, safety first and prevention foremost. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your wonderful and very knowledgeable session. I think the participants must have taken a lot of valuable information from this session of yours. The 3 points which I would like to highlight from your session. The first thing you talked about that the safety is practiced in a best way when nobody's monitoring you. I think you are absolutely correct because like in this end slide, you said that the habit, that the safety should become your habit. So
Yeah.
when it becomes your habit, there is no monitoring required because it is your habit, it's your behavior. So you have to practice the safety rules and regulations in such a way with lot of passion and with lot of devotion that these safety practices become your habit and your behavior. So there will be no monitoring required. And the second thing which I liked, the plan, do, check, and act cycle. I think it's very appropriate because safety is a never-ending process. So
Yeah.
when you do plan, do, check, act, so it is a continuous cycle. So and when you do something repetitively, automatically it becomes your habit. And the third thing you talked about the meditation. I think it's a very good point that you raised in this technical session. That's of course whatever we do, it's the sense of being aware of the of your surroundings is the best shield or the best measure that you can have around you. That you are aware of the things. When you are aware of the things, automatically you will be aware of the safety issues. So these 3 points I like most. I think there will be other more points which the participants must have liked. But I thought that I should highlight these 3 points from your session. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your session. And now I would like to invite our next speaker, Mr. Sanjay Singh. And sir, I would say that sir is also a part, still he's a part of NPC, though he left the NPC in year 2004. But I think the last year also we invited him for industrial safety. He took the session. So still he is in touch with us. He's he's still a member of NPC. So over to you, sir, for the session.
Thank you, Gupta ji. Thank you very much. I was waiting for my turn.
Yeah, yes.
Wait, I'm looking for my file. It is loading. Is it visible, Mr. Gupta?
Visible. We can see your slides.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm also visible.
Yeah, sir, you're
Yes,
also visible. Your voice is also
Okay.
very clear.
Okay. Good afternoon, participants. It is 16:13. That is 4:15 around. How much time I have to complete my presentation?
Uh,
Master,
Ujjwal,
you can guide me.
no, of course, I think so. No guidance is required.
No, I think
We need your guidance actually.
no, no,
sir, you
see,
can finish up to
Uh,
6 o'clock. You can take up to 6 o'clock.
if
No
participants
problem.
are okay with that, I will.
Yeah, the participant will be okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
participant will be okay, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, it is very difficult after lunch, and that too on Sunday, when everybody would like to take a light power nap. Uh, Allow me to continue with the presentation, and I will ensure that you don't go to sleep. Even if you are feeling sleepy, you will be awakened. Be attentive, and definitely you will take away something out of this discussion. And if you have any question, I will request you to just note down the question. At the end of the session, we'll have a question answer opportunity. That should be fine. I will continue with my slide. As usual, I would like to share this caveat. Uh, I'm here as an individual, not as a representing any organization. Just sharing my experience, whatsoever I have learned so far, experience so far. My entire presentation is divided into 4 sessions. That is named a context setting, why accident, then how human behavior affect incident, and at all last, if accident is to be prevented, how we can do that. So each session will have some presentation, some illustrations, followed by a small question answer session. So please pay attention to that. Let's start with the first session, that is context setting. You see, a lot many aspects has been covered by Dr. Sharma, my predecessor, who has just finished his presentation. So I would like to skip certain slides, or little less description I will give on the particular slide. Like this slide, what is safety, what is industrial safety, and components of industrial safety, or discipline involved in industrial safety. I would like to skip because it has already been elaborated by Dr. Sharma. Of course, this slide is important. What are the essential elements of industrial safety? It includes safety policy, protocols, procedures, guideline, introduction, management system, be it 45,000 or any other parallel system, legal stipulation, regulations, design for safety or safety conscious planning, planning and budgeting for safety, and many other things are there. Uh, Ujjwal, Ujjwal,
Yes, sir.
I will stop for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Let me continue. The important aspect now starts with the legal framework in India on occupational safety and health. It is very important to note that Indian Constitution itself incorporate directive principle. That means constitutionally also occupational safety and health has been part and parcel of our framework. I will not go to detail. If somebody is interested, you can refer this directive principle and you can go the details online. Labor related aspects is in the concurrent list. When I say concurrent list of constitution, that means the state government and central government both are empowered to make rules or formulate legislations. But in India, though state and center both are capable to make legislation on any topic, largely OHS related legislations are framed by central government. So basic acts comes from central government and state government used to formulate their rules to implement that act. Ministry of Labor and Employment is the nodal agency under Government of India. The main objective or main target purpose of Ministry of Labor and Employment is to formulate policies and guidelines. This is a important aspect that our country has a national policy on safety, health and environment at workplace, which came on 20th February 2009. If somebody is interested to go into detail, I have given the website. You can go to labornic.in or you can also visit DG Fastly website for further details. The directive principle is based on the directive principle of a constitution. It aims at establishing preventive safety health culture in all segments of Indian economy. Importantly, it recognizes safety and health in the working environment as a fundamental right. That means anybody can approach law of court of law for violation against their health and safety in workplace. It also aims at enhancing the well-being of the employees and it invests the goal to be achieved and brings into focus the objective of continuous reduction in the incidence of work. So entire framework of national policy on safety and health evolves around one common thing, that it is very important subject. Government of India is paying attention to that, and unfortunately implementation is the problem. We'll discuss it little later, but as far acts and rules are concerned, you may be surprised to note that India is one of the country with such an elaborate arrangement of act and legislation in the domain of occupational safety and health. Some of the umbrella acts I would like to discuss here. You all must be knowing. The first is the Factory Act, very earlier, just after independence in 1948. Chief Inspector of Factory is the regulatory authority or enforcement agency. Then Mines Act, Director General of Mines is the regulatory agency under Ministry of Labor and Employment, Government of India. Dockyards related acts and rule, Director General of Factory, made by DG Fastly, which you call under Ministry of Labor, Government of India is the enforcement authority. Building and other construction workers, Regulation of Employment Conditions of Services Act 1996 and Rules 1998. Here, Director General, Labor Institute is the central sphere, and Labor Commissioner or Factory Inspector in the state or union territories are the enforcement agencies. Here I have tried to draw a relationship between various agencies involved in formulation, implementation, and enforcement of OSH legislation in India. You see, the apex is Ministry of Labor and Employment, which takes us technical guidance and other inputs from Indian Labour Conference, which is a tripartite apex consultative committee. It also, on the right side, you can see it also takes input from ILO, International Labour Organization. It has two technical arms. One is DG Fastly, which is headquartered in Mumbai, with Central Labour Institute, which is also in Mumbai. And other technical arm is DGMs, Director General of Mines Safety. DG Fastly has two subdivision or subsegment, you can say. One is CIF, that is Chief Inspector of Factories, or DIS, Directorate of Industrial Safety and Health of respective head, respective state, government and union territories. And other side will find Inspector of Dog Safety. So this is the framework under which Indian legislation formulated, implemented, operated or enforced. Hope I am able to explain. Now I referred one terminology called ILO. It is an International Labour Organization, founded in year 1999. 1919. It is based in Geneva. This is tripartite UN agency which brings together government, employees, and workers of 187 members. You might be knowing that India is one of the founding member of International Labour Organization. This ILO is mandated to set international labor standards, to develop and devise programs promoting decent work environment. ILS are legal instruments drawn up by ILO. ILS means International Labour Standards. It has two names. One is either it is called convention or protocols, and other is recommendation. Convention or protocols and recommendation. So if somebody asks you what are ILS, ILS has two standards, two types of standards. One is conventions or protocols, and other are recommendation. What is the difference between convention or protocol and recommendations? Convention and protocols are legally binding international treaties. Those countries who has ratified a particular convention or protocol are legally bound to implement that. Recommendations are guidelines on convention or protocols, or sometimes it is a standalone independent autonomous guideline also. So please remember, convention or protocols are legally binding, whereas recommendations are simple guidelines attached to a particular convention or protocol, or even independent. Till date, 47 conventions or protocols ratified by Government of India, and the list is given here. I will not repeat. What is the importance of these conventions and protocol for India or for any other country? These conventions, protocols or recommendations provides basic framework on which a particular government, a particular nation formulates its own policy, rules, regulation in the domain of occupational safety and health. A synopsis of Factory Act 1948 is enclosed. Ujjwal, can you share that slide?
Yes, sir. Just a minute. Yeah, sir, it is loading.
No issue.
Yeah, it came.
Dear partisan, you can see there are 9 chapters in Factory Act 1948. Every chapter is devoted to a particular subject. Chapter 1 is just primarily 7 sections devoted to it. Chapter 2 is talks about inspecting a staff who is responsible for implementing or enforcing a Factory Act. On health, chapter 3 is devoted. Chapter 4 is devoted on safety. Topics are given. And chapter 4a, that is supplement to chapter 4, it devotes it on provision related to hazardous processes, that is process safety. Welfare of workers is captured under chapter 5. Chapter 6 talks about working hours and the requirement under that. Employment of young persons and other is captured under section 7, that is chapter 7. Annual leave with wages captured under section 8. Say special provisions like dangerous operation, notice for certain accident, and diseases captured under special provision chapter 9, penalties and under chapter 10, and last is supplemented. These are added chapters, section 107 to 120. So supplementary topics are also attached as chapter 11. So remember, total 11 chapters under Factory Act 1948. When I say Factory Act 1948, I am including all amendments in it till date. So if you get a book of Factory Act 1948, you'll find there will be 11 chapters, and all chapters are devoted on different topics. This is only a skeleton. I'm not going into the depth of the chapters, what it includes, what it does not. So those who are having a copy of 1948, they can go through, or they can download, or particular chapter they can also download on Google for themselves. Well, now you can close it, so that I can continue with my original presentation. Yes, friend. Let's continue where we left. Certain infographic I would like to share with you. Ironically, in a year, almost 12,039 people die per million workers employed across world on account of occupational safety and health. Out of that, 192 deaths per million due to injuries, and 1,047 deaths per million due to diseases. And I'm quoting International Labour Organization. All these statistics I am quoting from ILO sources. Importantly, 17% of all fatalities at work, that is 1 in every 6 fatalities, are construction fatalities. Very important. And construction is very important segment. Be it industry, be it road, be it dock, be it a highway, or be it airport or building construction, all types of construction included, it contributes 70% of all fatalities. On an average, 60,000 fatalities occurs in construction sector every year. If we exclude holidays, Sundays and other holidays, and convert all days into minute, you will find every 10 minutes some or other body is losing life, either in India or in America, here or there. This is very, very important to note, that every 10 minutes somebody is dying due to occupational safety and health issues in construction industry. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yes,
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 sir.
yes, sir.
Yes. Every incident or accident has certain implications, and these implications can be categorized in two parts. One is positive, one is negative. You'll be surprised to see why I'm mentioning positive. Hello. Some participant is complaining that voice is not clear. Please check your connection there.
Sir, your voice is clear, sir. No problem.
Okay. I got some chat message that voice is not clear. Hope now it is clear.
Right, sir.
So
All the participants, kindly note, if there is any issue with the audio or video, kindly change your data connections. Sometime it might be due to slow local connection speeds. So kindly check that. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. So I was referring that implication of accident, two categories, positive and negative. Yes, every incident or accident has positive implication. If and only if we investigate it correctly and implement the findings in reality. If you fail to do that, then there is no positive implication of any accidents, and whatsoever implications are there, these are negative for family, for the victim, for the company, and the nation at large. Let's see what are the implications for company. This is very important. So every incident, or I should say accident, has two implications associated with it. One which we call it direct or visible, another which is indirect or invisible. What is the direct? You see, iceberg is seen on the slide. Very small portion of icebergs is seen above water level, but a very big portion of iceberg is underwater, which is not visible. Same way, whenever there is accident, you see there are two types of cost: direct cost or visible cost, which we visualize, which we see, like compensation, medical treatment. These are direct cost. There are so many indirect costs like loss of production, plant material damage, time, money, cost of equipment induction, low morale, litigation, publicity, blah blah. All these things are indirect cost. How to decide with what is the direct and what is the indirect cost? You can apply thumb rule. Wherever there is transaction of money, either cash or in kind or in terms of NEFT or check or draft, that is direct cost. So we pay for compensation, either we pay for check, through paycheck or draft, or we pay cash or electronic transaction. This is direct cost. Same way medical treatment, direct cost. All other costs which you see, these are indirect costs. Here, actual like loss of production, there is no transaction taking place from one hand to other hand. Plant equipment material damage, you will calculate and then you'll see that. Time, money is spent on investigation. We really do not do that. So indirect cost is always much higher than the direct cost. In Indian condition, it can be 3 to 10 times more than the direct cost. Very huge. Let me give one example. A 25-year worker, unskilled, met an accident, undergoes treatment in hospital, ICU, another for 4 or 5 days, and then he succumbed to the injury. What will happen? The direct cost will be compensation to be paid to his family, and all expenses incurred by the company on his medical treatment, transportation his body, disposal of his body. This is a direct cost. And indirect cost will be huge for the company. So if it is his age is 25, so as per Workmen Compensation Act, he will be paid around some 6.75 lakh or something as the compensation. Let us take it 7 lakh. And let us assume that 3 lakh is the cost of treatment and disposal of body, transportation of body. So 10 lakh is direct cost. In the same case, indirect cost could be 30 lakh to 100 lakh also. So total cost of one accident could be 40 lakh to 110 lakh. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, in spite of all these things, the way we manage safety in industry is very important to understand. We are not serious, or we are not consistent, I should say, in our approach to our safety. You see, on x-axis, culture and typical organizational behavior is given, and on y-axis, perception of risk. Whenever there is accident, safety becomes top priority for a company, and everybody from board of director, managing director to the all the committee members and plants machinery unit, everybody talks about safety. It will continue for maybe weeks or few more weeks or days, and then again things will come back as usual till such time when one more accident takes place. And again, safety will become the top priority, and everybody will be geared up to talk about safety, to do for safety. And after some time, again, we'll forget this and wait for another accident to be awakened on safety. So our priority keeps on changing. Industry's priorities keeps on changing on safety. day-to-day basis, month-to-month basis, season to season. That is the reality. Other paradox is that we manage safety by fear. It does not come as value. It does not come as genuine desire. What type of fear? There are two types of fear, personal fear and organization fear. Let me elaborate on personal fear. Personal fear refers to those aspects of individuals which are related to the growth of the person, the stability of the person in the company. If accident takes place, I am the project in charge, I am the unit head or factory manager. What will happen to me? I will be responsible. I will be dragged to court. I have to respond to this. My career will be ruined. Blah blah. These are personal fear which is forcing us to do something for safety. Then organizational fear. Organizations are very much concerned about their brand. And in today's media hype, one small accident can be blown out of proportion that can damage very badly company's reputation. So organizations are become very concerned about their reputation, and that is a fear which is forcing all boards of directors, managing directors, and this that to appoint big consultant and do something on safety, at least to show. But it is not coming genuinely. I'm not generalizing for every company or every segment. I am not generalizing, but this is the scenario. Largely, we are driving safety either through personal fear or due to personal fear or organizational fear. I don't remember in last 27 or 28 years of my career, I have been with private sector, I have been with the government sector, industry, construction, all segments I have worked so far. Upon a death or a casualty resulting from an accident, I have not seen any company stopping work for a moment and observing 2 minutes silence in the respect of departed soul. That is what is the current scenario. Instead, companies tries to hide or manage media and other sources. So where is genuine concern for safety? Not. So we need to relook, introspect ourselves, whether we are talking something and doing something or talking something else. That's what the scenario. Let us reflect what we learned so far. Participant can answer. As per ILO report, of all fatality work are construction fatalities. 70%. Good. Two types of costs associated with accidents are. What are the two types of costs associated with accidents? Anybody?
Write in the chat box.
Participants, you can write the answer in the chat box.
Direct and indirect, sir.
Yes, thank you. For a company, medical expenses incurred on accident victim is, it is direct cost or indirect cost? Direct. Good. Loss of production is direct or indirect? Loss of production is indirect cost. Good, Saurabh. Generally, perception of health and safety risk varies with time, changes with time. Thanks all. Let's continue the next session. Why accident? दुर्घटनाएं क्यों होती है? Let's examine why accident takes place. A small video of 20-25 seconds. I will request Ujjwal to just
Yes, sir, I will play.
you screen that video. Somebody asked the fifth question answer that the answer is varies with time or changes with time. This is a small clip of 15-20 seconds. It is actually 13 seconds. You just concentrate. Pay attention to the screen. Once again, repeat it. Repeat video. Yes. Let's discuss it. You can close this video. See what we have seen in this video, a small clip. Say, there are 2-3 aspects which explain why accident takes place or how accident takes place. One thing we have seen that the lady who was working behind her, there is an opening. Who has created that opening? Somebody must have planned it. Somebody had designed that workplace. So by mistake or by ignorance, somebody has created a permanent hazard in workplace by providing an opening. So the first mistake is during planning or designing or detailing. Somebody made a mistake and they have created a permanent hazard. So when you ask a planning guy, what is your role for safety? They used to say, oh, I am doing planning on my laptop with AutoCAD or some other Primavera or this, that. How I am responsible for safety? But you can see in this video that planning is very important ingredient in avoiding safety or creating safety. So one aspect is there. Second, that the opening is there and there is a door attached to it. Somebody goes inside without closing it down. Some other person crosses this opening on ground without cautioning the lady. And when lady turns, she falls in the opening. So the two other person who are crossing this, they are not concerned about safety of that lady. Say it is not none of my business, that type of approach. And third aspect is the lady herself who was working in that area, she should be aware of the hazard present in that area. So wherever we are working, we cannot close our eyes. We have to be conscious all point of time when you are working and look for the hazard and take precautions. So there are 3 aspects which I will elaborate in further slide. You see, Dr. Sharma has explained all the unsafe act, unsafe condition, blah, blah. With the help of these pictorials, I will just have a recap. You see the first left side of the slide, one firebox is kept, and in that you will find somebody has kept an axe. This is not the place to keep axe. So this is unsafe condition because a tool is kept in wrong place. So somebody's act has created an unsafe condition. Now the second picture, left to right, second picture, the guy who is trying to open is not a fireman. He is trying to open it. He is not entitled to open it. He should not have opened it, but he is trying to open it. It is unsafe act on his part. In third picture, you see that X dislodged from the place and fall on ground. Fortunately, nothing happens to the person. It is near miss or dangerous occurrence or close call. In the last part of the photo, you can see X falls on his feet and there is injury. So this is called accident. So try to understand, unsafe condition is also created by somebody. On its own, unsafe condition is not created. Unsafe condition or unsafe act leads to incident that is called near miss or dangerous occurrence or close call if there is no injury. In case there is injury, then this incident gets converted into accident. So you remember two terms, incident and accident. Incident is when there is no injury, and accident when there is injury. Now let's identify in these photographs. So first set of photo wherein two persons walking under suspended load, taking their helmets in their hands or without helmet is unsafe act. Nobody should walk under suspended load. In second part of the photo, you can see that the problem with the latch of the suspended load. So unsafe condition. In third part, you can see it is accident. And what is the fourth part? It is near miss. Beautifully. So I can see many of participants are able to answer very, very correctly. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm happy that you were able to understand the concept. That's what is the objective. Let us continue further. We have seen unsafe act, a set of things, and then we have seen unsafe condition. These two aspects, unsafe act or unsafe condition, gives rise to hazards. Hazards gives rise to risk. When there is hazard, there is risk of happening, depending upon probability and severity. This happening, we call it event or incident. It remains incident when nothing happens. Incident is also called near miss, dangerous occurrence, or close call. In some other situation, this event may result to accident, and accident can have different varieties type depending upon injury. First aid injury, minor injury, major injury, or lost time injury, and fatalities. Yes, all near misses, dangerous occurrence, and close calls are incident. Sure. Somebody is asking me. I confirm that all incidents wherein no injury takes place, or be it first aid or fatality, then it is near miss or close call or dangerous occurrence. In other situation, it will become accident. Whenever there is accident, irrespective of type of injury, it becomes accident. Okay, there are so many unsafe act, unsafe condition in these photos. As we are not sitting in front of each other in classroom, so it is not possible for me to seek your answer. I leave this teacher to you. Whenever you be free, try to find out unsafe act and unsafe condition. There are dozens of unsafe act and unsafe conditions in this one photograph. Dozens of them. So you can, as a puzzle, you can do it and send it back to me. I'll check and confirm whether you are right or not. So there are many unsafe act and unsafe condition. Please note in this photograph. Based on various studies over the years, in last 100 years or so, in different segment of industry, say 88% of accidents are due to unsafe act, and 10% are due to unsafe conditions. Only 2% are beyond human. That means 88 and 10, 98% of the accidents are due to me, you, or anybody else. Who creates unsafe act or unsafe condition? Me, you, or anybody else, a human being. Only 2% you can exclude, maybe tempest or tsunami or some flood. These things which are not under human control can be excluded. So 98% of accidents are caused by some or other human being. That's why it is called that all accidents are preventable, because we are the cause of accident, and if we correct ourselves, definitely we can be able to prevent accidents. Whenever there is an accident, people used to say it happened this way or that way. From today onward, try to find out how accidents was caused. what were the unsafe acts or what were the contributory unsafe conditions. Accidents are caused, it does not happen. So takeaway from this slide till this point is that please note unsafe, please note that accidents are caused, it does not happen. Second, since 98% of accidents are caused by human being, that means majority of accidents are caused by human being, so all accidents are preventable. Let us recap. Every accident is an incident, but every incident is not an accident, rightly said. Incident is also called, thanks Himanshu. Yes, Prashanjit, thanks. It is near miss, dangerous and close call. Question third. Is responsible majority of accident? Which is responsible? Unsafe act. Beautiful. Accident does not happen, rather it is. Question number 4. Caused. Beautiful, Prashant. Because accidents are caused, so it can be prevented. Nice, thanks everybody, thanks. Let's move to next session. This session is, sorry, I have gone back. Human behavior and incident, very important. We have just established the fact that accidents are caused, it does not happen. And unsafe act, unsafe condition jointly together responsible for accidents. So we are responsible for the accidents. So how our behavior is responsible or related to incident, we'll examine in this session. So there are 3 factors related to human behavior. One is ignorance. What we call it? Ignorance. Let me define it. People do not know and then they make a mistakes. It is called ignorance. Negligence. People are well aware, well educated, well experienced, they still make mistakes. That is called negligence. And third one is carelessness. People do not care for their own safety or other safety. And whenever we talk about safety, they look for somebody in the work environment with green helmet. Safety means safety people with green helmet in work shop or the work site. So there are 3 aspects of human behavior which is responsible for incident. One is ignorance. I have explained to you, ignorance means lack of knowledge, skill, information, training, or competency. And due to that, if accident takes place, we can say it is due to ignorance. Negligence is no, you are trained, you are very much aware, but still by habit you are making mistakes. जानबूझकर क्या आप ऐसा करते हैं? See, one classic example I would like to give. Salman Khan, a well-known actor, is very much aware that he should not drink and drive, but he still drinks and drive, and then there is an accident. So what is it? Due to his ignorance? No, it is his negligence. We all know that we should not drink and drive, but still we are doing, then it is negligence. Carelessness. At sight we see somebody is doing a awkward work, using improper tool or using shortcuts. Still we do not stop him, and we think it is not my job. It is job of somebody who is called safety professional or safety manager or safety stewards, and then we move on. Next moment there is accident and we lost that person, and then we repent. काश मैंने उसे टोका होता, काश मैंने उसे बचा लिया होता. This is called carelessness. So please remember these 3 aspects or 3 factors of human behavior which is responsible for accident. Why negligence or carelessness? It is very important. I am quoting Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. As you grow in your life, you will understand all these things very easily. Every human being has three types of need. One is basic needs, then physiological needs, and last is self-fulfillment needs. Basic needs is for survival. Food, water, house, safety, security, these are basic needs. Once it is fulfilled or partially fulfilled, then only you go to physiological need. And once it is fulfilled, then only somebody looks for self-fulfillment or recognition or whatsoever. This is called self-actualization. Majority of workers not able to fulfill their basic needs, physiological needs. So for them, their safety is not a priority. They do not value their safety. They do not value their limb, their life, and even compromise their limb or life for sake of some money. They know if something happens to them, there will be some compensation to their family, father, mother, sister, brother, whosoever is dependent on them. And they knowingly or unknowingly do unsafe act, unsafe condition, create unsafe act, unsafe condition, and meet accidents. So these are some of the aspects which reminds our action towards this type of workers. We need to be sympathetic with them. We cannot be tired of teaching them, explaining them, training them, retraining them, as we do with our kids. We have to do with our workers. Are we tired of teaching our kids? No. Same way, we cannot be tired of teaching our kids, our workers, laborers, other staffs who are working on front with machineries, tools in their hands. Let's move on. Further, if I classify accidents based on causes, you see 76% of accidents are caused only due to behavior issue. 20% due to behavior plus some unsafe conditions. So put together, 96% of accidents are related to behavior. Only 4% are conditions. Again, I am trying to establish the previous slide 88% plus 10%, that is 98% accidents are due to human being. Here again, it is proven that 96% are due to human being. So whatsoever way the analysis goes, all analysis suggests that human is the major cause of concern as far as safety is related. So we need to search our soul. We need to see what mistake we are doing instead of looking here and there. If we are able to do that, majority of accidents can be prevented. Now, I have introduced a terminology called behavior, but I have not defined it. Let me define behavior. You see on a screen, you see some behavior, a general behavior. Somebody is studying, somebody is crossing a bridge, somebody is driving, somebody is teaching, somebody is playing. Whatsoever you are seeing on the screen is nothing different type of behavior. You are able to see me on a screen. The way I'm trying to explain my body language, my postures, all things are the behavior. Some examples of behavior from industries, be it construction or automobile or any segment. You see in all pictures, somebody other is working in some or other postures. These are behavior. What you see is behavior. So let me define the behavior now. Human behavior is an act that is observable, that is measurable. So there are two criteria. Human behavior. What is human behavior? An act of human being, an act of sketching, which is observable, or which can be measurable, not in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality, whether it's good behavior or bad behavior, safety conscious behavior or safety unconscious behavior. So qualitative assessment or measurement is possible and observation is possible in case of behavior. Human behavior can be managed and changed. Please remember, human behavior can be observed and measured, so it can be managed and changed. So when we go to a doctor, you see what they do, they ask a few questions to understand the problem. They prescribe some tests to ascertain their understanding, and then they give you some medicine, some pills, some syrup, etc. And then regularly they monitor. They ask questions or they prescribe test, and test reports are indicative whether your health is improving or not. So same way, my behavior is observable to you. You can measure it. So my behavior can be managed and changed. Same way it is applicable to everybody's behavior. Hope I am hope I am able to explain. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Kindly
Yes, sir.
continue,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
It is clear.
Now, human behavior is affected by two things. One is attitude, another is emotion. My behavior is governed by my attitude. Your behavior is governed by your attitude. But everybody's behavior is influenced by emotions. When I say emotions, see, you must have observed in your life a friend or a relative, your father, your mother, or your uncle, or your sister, brother, normally behaves in a particular pattern. But sometimes their behavior change and you are surprised. Why? It may be the state of emotion in which he or she, which is affecting the behavior. He or she is very frustrated due to many reasons, under tremendous pressure or stress, or some loss of relative, friend, loss of job or something, loss of opportunity. So if somebody is in a particular state of emotion, his or her behavior can change momentarily for some time. That is why it is very important to manage emotions in industrial setup office. Okay. Due to paucity of time, I will not be able to elaborate how emotions affect one's behavior. Okay, some other time definitely, but I'll discuss how behavior is governed by the attitude of one's. Then what is attitude? I have defined behavior. I have explained what is the behavior and on what behavior matters, that is attitude and emotions. Now, what is attitude at all? Attitude is something which is not seen. A perception, my thought, my judgment, based on my education, my upbringing, my learning, failure, success, whatsoever I experienced so far in last 54 years, I've developed some perception, some thinking about individual, situations, people, and that is my attitude. And whenever I am in that situation, whenever I am in contact with such people, I react in particular way. That is my attitude. But the person in front of me will not be able to see my attitude. He will be able to see only my behavior. But why I am behaving that way, he or she will never be able to know unless until he or she is very close to me and understand my attitude. So attitude is something which is not seen by others but affect someone's behavior. Let's see next slide for better understanding. You see, this is again a iceberg model. You can see only 10% of human behavior is known to other. See, 100% of escaping is not known to you. Whatsoever perception, thought, opinion you will form today about me is based on 10% of my behavior, which is visible to me, based on this presentation or discussion. But 90% of escaping is not known to you. That means my value system, my standard, my judgment, motive, ethics, belief, which I have developed over the years based on my own experience, learning, failure, success, environment. Am I clear? Rajivji, am I
Sir,
clear?
yes, sir, you are clear, sir.
Let's continue, sir.
So you are clear. You are very clear.
Okay, sir. Thank you. There is something called ABC model. Some of you must have gone through that or just known these words or did also. What is this ABC model? Very simple model to define behavior and how behavior influence action and how action influence behavior again. A is called activator or antecedent that behave that trigger certain behavior in an individual. And when I say behavior, but some performance. Then comes behavior, and every behavior is having some consequences, a result of the behavior. One individual, I will explain this very beautifully. Nobody is born with cigarette or beer in his or her hand. Is it clear? Nobody is born with cigarette or beer in his or her hand. Some point in time in their life, upon some situations, either his or she is facing some trouble, some colleague come, let us have a drink, let's have a smoke, and things will be sorted out. And you started smoking or you started having drink. Maybe psychologically, you felt very good. And then next time when you were in the same situation, again you started doing that. In due course of time, if you are maybe psychologically were relieved after taking a pack or two pack or having or one or two cigarette, if you are finding yourself good, right or wrong, then you will continue to do that in future, even if those triggers, activators or antecedents are not available. So please remember, whenever somebody is doing a wrong thing, the first time we should stop then and there. Let's take example from industry. A worker coming from a remote area, remote village in a big city, and start working with a company or some organization where safety has no meaning, zero, no concern for safety. He worked in that company for 5 years, 6 years, or 6 months. So now the same worker gets an opportunity to work with a big company like L&T or Tata or something like that, or some industry, big industry, wherein he is being inducted into safety. He is given all personal protective gear and asked to perform work in safe manner. He finds himself in awkward position because he has been working in past without any concern to safety for public or for himself. So he will find himself in a very awkward condition and he will not try to adhere to the safety rules or parameters set by the industry in that particular company. So it is always said that whenever your kid or your worker make mistake first time, you will stop then and there. Otherwise, it will become difficult to stop it, reverse it. If the actor, the person who is doing that behavior, who is making performance, finding benefit in that, he or she will continue. Other example, We all used to drive for office, maybe four-wheeler or two-wheeler, or maybe taking train or bus to go to office. Okay. Somebody's is having habit to delay 5 or 10 minutes and then rush. Maybe by doing some jugglery on road, left, right, lane changing, he or she is able to reach office in time and able to save 5-10 minutes of time out of 1 hour journey. He or she is very happy. But if he or she meets an accident in the first instance itself, probably he or she will not repeat that thing in future. This is what is the reality of ABC model. There are many activators in life. On general life, you can see many activators. You can see on the screen so many photographs are there. These are nothing but activator. Why activator? Because when you look for a speed limit, you control your speed. When you look at a speedometer of your car or your bike, you control your speed. When bell rings or alarm rings, you wake up. So all these things are, which are seen on the screen, are general activator. Same way, in industrial scenario also, there are so many activators which affect our behavior, which forces us to act in a particular manner, like timeline, milestone, contractual guidelines, safety budget, client's audit, inspection, review, top man's audit, inspection, review, regulatory enforcement, company safety policy standard, plans, procedure, training, education, blah, blah. These are all activators which affects our behavior. If these activators affects our behavior in good way, we should continue that activator. Why talk about training, education, retraining, re-education? Because it affects and guide a behavior which is good for safety. So we should not be tired of giving safety induction or safety training or retraining. Some of the photographs in the screen, you can see so many people are performing jugglery on roads on some other situation. This indicates their current state of behavior, but we don't know the past, why he or she is doing that. Maybe he or she is doing the first time, or they are now accustomed to do that based on the benefit which they have derived out of their unsafe behavior in past. If somebody is benefited, then definitely he or she will continue to do. This last photo, you see a guy is doing a stunt on road. Might be that's the first time he's doing that. Somebody is making video and he thinks he'll be so popular on social media. He's trying to do the stunt. So business. Suppose he meets an accident in the first incident itself, he is hospitalized, or police catch him hold and send him jail or punish him severely, maybe he will not repeat this stunt in lifetime. So this is what is the relationship between behavior, antecedent, and consequence. Some other examples are given here. Consequence has three factors. It impacts. Consequence may be personal or organization. Significance, it can be positive or negative, like I'm driving fast, changing lane. I save time 5 minutes out of 1 hour journey. It is very positive for me. What could be negative? It could be negative for me or somebody else. I hit somebody, I lost his life. Magnitude, it can be large, saving, or can be large or can be small. Timing can be immediate, result will be immediate or very late. Consistency, certain or uncertain. You see, all consequences has some meaning for the performer. If the impact is personal, definitely there will be a reaction from the performer. If it is organization may like to discipline the person. Significance, if it is positive, there will be repetition by the performer. If it is negative, maybe he or she, the performer will stop there. Magnitude, if a large benefit, definitely people would like to do. A small benefit, people may like to not to do that, repeated. Timing, if benefit is immediate, then they would like to do, and not immediate, maybe in future. Like we talk about defensive driving, we all talk about defensive driving, but nobody loves to adopt defensive driving. Why? The benefit of defensive driving may be realized in lifetime of an individual or may not be, but offensive driving may help him or her saving 5 or 10 minutes time each day. So obviously people will go for offensive driving rather than defensive driving. Consistency is also important factor in deciding the consequences. It may be certain or it may be uncertain. If certain, then people will do that. If uncertain, people may not like to repeat that. Mathematically, we all professionals will love to understand things mathematically. So please remember this formula. Behavior is function of C, consequences. If consequences is good for the performer, in all likelihood, he or she will continue that. If it is not that good, they would like not to repeat that. Let's recap. Is it okay? Can you do the recap? Yes. Already
Yes, sir.
answer is given to the first question. Behavior is the main culprit of incident. Beautiful. 3 human factor responsible incidents are negligence. First is ignorance. Second is negligence. And third is carelessness. Beautiful. Behavior can be managed because it can be observed and measured. Good. Is a reflection of one's mind. What is the reflection of one's mind? Attitude. Beautiful. Behavior is by attitude, governed by attitude. Beautiful. Activator triggers behavior. Beautiful. Monetary incentive generally acts as a strong. What will the answer of question number 7? Motivator. Beautiful. See, many times you used to say, we have something to get done urgently. Boss has told or client has told you that it is to be done by today evening, end of day, and you are rushing against time. Worker has surrendered. No, I will not work beyond 6 o'clock. So what you used to say, I will give you double salary, I will give double day, I will give double hajri, you go on leave after that. Okay, so you give some types of motivation, monetary motivation to influence his behavior and ask him to work. So please remember, monetary incentives work as a strong behavior. You should not misuse monetary incentive because it many times compromise on safety. Last question, behavior is a function of consequence. Beautiful. Thank you very much, all participants, for your quick answers. Let's continue to the last session. Sorry. 1 second. How to prevent accident? So last session we'll try to understand. Say accident prevention approach can be discussed hours and even days. But in 20 minutes, I would like to explain you what we can do. Definitely my session is not meant to make you expert of the subject matter, but open your eyes and inculcate some sorts of awareness in you so that you can search for more information. First thing, remember, safety is line function and not a staff function. Largely till date in our country, safety is driven by safety function. That means some people who are having safety profession as designation, as experience, and given the task of managing safety. Maybe in a company, 8, 10, 20, 30, 40 people will be working as safety professionals, a different designation, with a different roles and responsibility, and they will be managing safety in the company. That is not the way. If safety is managed that way, this is defeating the purpose of safety. Safety is line function. Those who are having execution authority, they are required to do safety. A planning guy who is supposed to plan a factory layout, he should plan with all safety features. A procurement guy who is going to place order for a plant, machinery or furniture should decide on the correct instrument with safety features. Once a mistake is done and then you ask safety person to do correction, whatsoever he or she tries to do, safety will not be possible. Let me give one example. At a site, a factory or a construction site, for pick and carry, we need, Farhan, F10 or K15, K10 or F15 types of third generation Hydra. But we fail to plan for that. The planner failed to visualize the need, or the head of execution failed to plan for or accommodate for that. When works starts, and then somebody is asking, we need third generation Hydra for 1 day, 2 day, or 5 day, or 10 days. But neither it is included in budget, nor it is included as a cost item. Then what will happen? From where you will get third generation Hydra? It will be very difficult. You have already lost time. You are in execution phase, not in planning phase now. So that point of time, whatsoever available in market easily within less cost, that is first generation Hydra, you will hire that. I will try to use first generation Hydra, which is dangerous as pick and carry. And in that turn, you will ask your safety professional, you take care of this, you monitor this, you prepare a checklist, you train the person, you inspect the machinery or whatsoever you do. When in spite of 100% effort of the safety professional, this Hydra itself is a problematic instrument, not suitable for use as pick and carry. Definitely there will be accident, and then you will say that safety guys are useless. In fact, they are not useless. They are doing their task. The problem is with you. You fail to visualize the need of pick and carry of third generation in your execution planning, in budgeting. And now you are managing the show somehow. That's the problem. So with that example, I try to explain that safety is line function, not a staff function. Second, when we talk about leadership, we all look at up. I look at my boss looks at his boss. Who is leader? Everybody who is having follower is leader. So a shop floor engineer or supervisor is also a leader because they are supervising or controlling few people. So last line of the work, that is a simple worker, except them, everybody is leader in their own position, in their own hierarchy. So when I talk about leader, don't look at Narendra Modi or Rahul Gandhi for that matter. Everybody is leader because you are being reported by few people, maybe 10 people or 1 people or 500 people. So as a leader, you have to have certain behavior characteristics in you. What you do, your team should be able to see it. And what they see, they should be able to believe you. If they are not able to see what you are doing, and even if they are able to see but they are not able to believe you, then as a leader, you are a fail. So whatever you wanted from your team, you need to demonstrate. You need to give a confidence. You need to give a trust that what you expect from your team, you yourselves are driving in same way. Like, let me give an example. Everybody is required to wear chin strip, wear helmet with chin strip on the shop floor. But when general manager is going to site on shop floor, he's just keeping helmet on his head without chin strip. So do you think down the line people will follow this general manager? No, they will say just in boardroom he talks big things. On shop floor he does not follow the safety. And the purpose of driving safety will be defeated. So what you wanted from your subordinate, your colleagues, or your workers, or your subcontractors, please demonstrate same way. Is it clear? Friends, people can lie. Yes, thank you,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
That is very clear.
Certain exhibit certain leadership characteristics we all should follow, try to inculcate in ourselves. And what I am talking is not applicable in safety discipline only. Every walk of life, be it general life at home, on road, or in the offices, everywhere it is applicable. Try to lead by example. What you wanted, you demonstrate. Nothing like demonstration. No better teaching than demonstration. Setting direction, your team should not be confused. Direction should be made clear by you. Taking others with her or him. You should be able to take people with you. Running is not important. A slow pace, a smooth pace is okay, but everybody taking together. As a leader, you should have 3 P's and 1 C. You should be proactive, not reactive. Persistent. Once you decide, you do not change due to hurdles. Predictable. You down the line, subordinates should know that in this type of situation, my boss will act in this way. So that if boss is not there, they will behave in that particular fashion. And third is, the last is consistent. As a leader, you cannot choose to be inconsistent. Morning, you have some other mood, so some other direction. Afternoon, after lunch, you change your mood, and the evening, by the time you are leaving office, you have some certain direction. So entire team will get confused, and as a group, you people will not lead to any situation fruitfully. Hierarchy of control. Dr. Verma also, Sharma also explained this on the technical front. See, it starts from elimination and goes to PP. Unfortunately, in majority of cases, safety means PPE. Safety starts from PPE and ends with PPE, but it is meaningless. It is really meaningless. So, elimination, substitution, and engineering control should be given precedence over administrative and personal protective equipment. If you fail to do that, all efforts on administrative control and personal protective equipment may not yield the desired result. But how you will do that? For doing that, you have to incorporate safety in design. So we'll call design for safety. At the designing stage, if designer or planner, the architect, the structural person is not expert of safety, you must include some safety expert in the domain. Consider safety in contracting, subcontracting decisions. What happens in reality? Contract is given by somebody in isolation. Safety is not involved in that. And once contract is awarded, work starts, then only safety comes in picture. And that defeats the purpose. Procurement and hiring decision, in all that decisions, safety professionals should be involved. Talent acquisition, especially at key position. See, when we hire a director, when we hire a chief executive officer or chief operating officer or plant head or unit head, there must be a criteria on safety. He or her should be evaluated on their track record of safety as well. If they are not safety conscious, safety is not priority or value for them, then how they will guide their team. So that is very important. We need to consider safety in contracting, procurement and hiring, and talent acquisition. Next is plan and provision work enablers. Many times what happens? We plan big things, but enablers we fail to plan. Like a scaffold, work platform, access ladder. Let me give example. Many times you used to call electrician for some work at home. We all used to call. Once electrician is inside your house, he asks you, please give me a ladder. And majority of us don't have ladder at home. A 4 feet, 3 feet or 6 feet aluminum ladder, how many people are having in their home? So what we say, take that chair, take that table or central table or dining table, stand on that and work. These are all unsafe things, which we are forcing upon the electrician. Definitely for 100, 200 rupees work or 500 rupees work, he will not get ladder with himself. This is not expected of him. So this way, we do not plan for the enablers, and that gets a problem. Same with fall protection, we don't provide passive and active holder. Method statement and risk assessment should be prepared for each type of work, be it repetitive. As I told you, incorporate safety in planning, very important. If we fail to do that, when we proceed from conceptual to detailed designing, detail engineering, procurement and construction, cost of safety increases manifold. Dr. Sharma has also indicated this with some examples, how cost can increase from planning to detail engineering to procurement decision and construction. So, okay, what you wanted to do in construction should be considered in conceptual stage itself. The same aspect can be captured in conceptual stage at the cost of maybe 100 rupees. That may becomes 1 million rupees at time of construction and commissioning. So always, and this graph is not prepared by me, this is some Japanese expert who has prepared this graph based on years of study in construction industries. So this is very important graph, and I will advise you to go through the details by searching on Google. Invest to strengthen controls. Each company has 4 types of control, which is seen here in yellow board. Organization controls, supervisory control, safe tools, equipment, processes, and safe behavior. None of these controls are always foolproof. Sometime or other, there used to be some drawbacks, some lacunae, flaws in these controls. And when a time comes, all these lacunae or drawbacks or flaws of these controls gets aligned in a straight line, and then there is accident. So what is required? Time and again, we have to challenge our organizational control. We have to revisit our supervisory control tools by way of inspection, audit, third-party audit, training, retraining, revisiting all the controls, so that all these lacunae can be avoided and we avoid the accident. It's very important. Traditional safety was highly dependent on, I should say, over dependent on PP. हम हेलमेट, जूता, जैकेट्स दे देते हैं और मान लेते हैं कि सेफ्टी हो गया. That is incorrect. In this picture, you can see that one worker with helmet given, and he is forced to work in unsafe condition, and he is being given some wrong motivation by way of some cheese. You can see there. You can see there some cheese. So this type of safety is not good. Let's be clear. Providing PPEs and forcing people to work in unsafe condition, and if they hesitate, then give them monetary benefit or some other thing is not good for safety. So what is there? We need to encourage behavior-based safety, wherein focus is on bottom, removing the unsafe act, unsafe condition, or at-risk behavior, so that the upper lagging indicators are automatically achieved. Currently, our focus is on, you go to any industry or something on board, you will find that all these leading indicator, number of near misses, number of man hour works, how many near misses for this, all will be displayed on notice board. And there used to be a target on all these items. That company sets a target that will have this many LTI, or it will not allow more than this LTI, or fatal accident will not have 0 fatal accident. All these are, please remember, these are all result, and you cannot have control on result. You can have only control on the matter which is contributing to result, that is unsafe act, unsafe condition, or at-risk behavior. So we need to invest our energy, time, money, resources on identifying and removing unsafe act, unsafe condition, and at-risk behavior. If you are able to do that, the top line will automatically be eliminated, and you are not required to set any target on that. Anyway, we cannot set a target. We cannot set target on fatal accident or LTI or first aid case. We can set a target that every 100 worker, unsafe act will be 5 every month, or unsafe condition will be only 3 every month. And by working hard, we can achieve that. If you are able to do that, automatically will achieve the upper indicators automatically, no need of extra work. Let's reflect upon what we learned. Safety is not a staff function, it is good. It is line function. The 3 dimensions of health leadership are doing, being seen, and being believed. Leadership shall be, yes, beautiful, proactive, persistent, predictable, and last is consistent. The 4th one is consistent. Question 5, anybody? Good. Safety shall be incorporated in planning. Question 6, safety shall be the core business. Question 6 is safety shall be the core business value and not the priority. You see, I did not focus much on value and priority, but before I close, I will explain value and priority. What is the difference between value and priority? Many company, you go and you go through their documents on safety, maybe safety plan, safety policy, or their safety protocol. You may find a statement, safety is our top priority. Maybe sometimes in their policy statement itself, you'll find this intent mentioned. Safety is our top priority. Friend, there is a difference between priority and value. When I was younger, my priority was different. When I was in school, my priority was different. When I was in college, my priority was different. When I got married, my priority was different. And now when I am 54, my priority is different. Priority is something which keeps on changing with time. But I was taught to have bath and stand before God and do prayer for few minutes. That is value. Unless until I am sick, I'm not able to take bath or not able to walk, I'm doing that. That is value. Does not changes with time. When we start learning driving, so we consciously look for ECG, accelerator, clutch, and brake. Once you learn, then unconsciously you are able to use ECG without any burden. This is value. So safety needs to be inculcated in our behavior, individual's behavior, organizational behavior as value, not as a priority. Because if it is a priority, today it will be priority, tomorrow it may not be priority. If situation changes, it may not be the priority. And then there will be accident. So what is needed, that safety should be inculcated in every individual as a value, not as a priority. Let me have a concluding remark. Safety is not part of human nature. We used to take risk for learning. याद कीजिए जब साइकिल चलाना सीखते थे, गिरते थे, फिर उठते थे, फिर सीखते थे. तो जैसे हमने साइकिल सीखा, उस तरह से we can learn safety as well. Safety is not burden to company. Rather, it is useful burden. If you start investing in safety, your time, your energy, and money, in due course of time, you will have opposite S-curve, and influence will be on productivity, organizational effectiveness, employee morale, and whatnot. So I don't know, today's participant, maybe many of you may be already in commanding position in your respective organization. Some of you may be young, going to be in commanding position in future, in leading position in future. Wherever you are, in whatsoever position you are, still you can influence. Still you can influence your future of this country. And you don't say that some Gandhiji will come to change the situation. We all are Gandhi in our own domain. So let us try a bit. Don't finger out at others. I cannot do. You can do lot, sir. You can do lot as an individual. I hope I could do justice with that. And if any question, I would like to answer.
If any participant has any question, they can write in the chat box. I will repeat the question on their behalf and the sir will answer.
Sanjay sir, please explain the safety paradox graph.
Safety paradox.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, there are two slides on safety paradox. पैराडॉक्स को हिंदी में जब बोलेंगे तो विसंगतियां, हिंदी में उसका मतलब विसंगति, इंग्लिश में उसको पैराडॉक्स बोलते हैं. I was explaining that any organization which has a safety management system, a starting point, suppose a starting point is 2020 1st January. Safety management system starts in a company XYZ. And everything is okay, it's going smoothly. In due course of time, complacency creeps into the system. And we start thinking, believing that nothing will happen. From last so many years, I am doing this way or company is doing that way. This is the best way, nothing will happen. Then certainly what's happened? Some accident takes place. And then we are taken aback everybody is awakened. Safety becomes a reinvention like things, and everybody's focus, management, directors, everybody's focus is on safety. This focus will continue in due course of time. It gets diluted, and then again complacency will come into the system till the time one more accident takes place. You remember, we all have, I will explain it further. We all have learned driving four-wheeler or two-wheeler. When you start learning, there may be mistake, there may be some incident, but not major accident. Major accident takes place when we have learned driving and we have been driving for years. Complacency creep into the system of individual. Oh my God, this car, I have time to last 10 years, yeah. Then we drive, we talk over phone, we hold hands of our girlfriend, we do this or that, and then there is accident. So when complacency is in the system, nothing will happen. I am the best. Nothing more is needed. Then there is accident. And as soon as there is accident, again safety is becoming the top priority for some time. Hope I am able to explain.
Yes, sir. Now the second question is, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, whenever there is a safety incident happen, people are unwilling to report it. How can we overcome this?
This is beautiful question, and every industry is facing this problem.
Yeah.
We can have some motivational program around this. This can be part of many industry has tried and succeeded in some or other way. 2-3 aspects. One is motivational program, monthly, quarterly, or annually. Second is part of appraisal, annual appraisal. How conscious he or she has been on shop floor or work site. That can be very useful. And third thing is that in every training or interaction, near miss reporting and capturing should be a topic of discussion. Everybody should participate in that. It is not that the workers should only report. See, whenever I am driving, I am also finding some incident every day or some or other day. I should also report or I should discuss with my colleague. Once this culture is started, the reporting of near miss will flow automatically. Till such time, we need to push it, sustain it. It is something like that when we launching satellite in the orbit, till the time gravitational force is working, we have to provide energy against that. Once it has reached geosynchronous orbit, it will start rotating on its own. No need of external power. So till such time, organization has to push through motivation, through training, hand holding, guiding. Ultimately, organization will succeed.
And sir, kindly brief about the ratio of 1:4 ladder.
1:4 ladder. I think this is not the part of the discussion, but I will definitely. See, 1:4 ladder means the angle of the ladder with ground is very important. When it is less than 45 degrees from ground, it becomes unstable whenever load is applied on ladder. That's why this ratio 1:4 comes in that. When one vertical, 4 horizontal distance. That is what is the requirement.
Dr. Sharma sir is there? Dr. Sharma sir?
Hello,
Ujjwal,
Yeah,
I'm
Ujjwal.
audible?
Yeah, sir, you're
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yeah, please.
Just a minute, sir. What is the reference of safety audit score?
Safety audit score varies basically on the grading system. So, for example, they're having the different contents, and there is also a ISO this IS BIS code also there, and individual company can also do the metrics, provide the metrics based on the components to be taken under the safety audit as per the BIS. So on that, the ratings and weightage is given based on the components critical or important to the individual nature of processes or activities of the company.
Yeah, okay, sir. Now the sir question for Sanjay sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Please explain the formula of indirect cost as shown. I think the indirect cost shown in the your PPT, sir.
Indirect cost is 3 to 10 times more than the direct cost. That means if X is the direct cost, indirect cost could be 3x to 10x. So total cost is X plus 3x to 10x. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, it is clear.
How to measure behavior safety
As I
of
explained,
employees?
yes, it can be measured in qualitative terms. Terminology used at safe behavior, unsafe behavior, safety conscious behavior, safety unconscious behavior, safety supportive behavior, like that. So there are qualitative terminology used by different industry, and if industry is having a particular segment of definition, they can use it. There's no quantitative measurement, that is a kilo or meter or centimeter, something like that is not. It is always in qualitative terms.
And there is question for Sharma sir. There is a requirement for any audit by any independent body while on transition or change management to a new level of process safety.
With reference to the process safety, there is no any legal requirement. There is only one legal requirement which applies to the MAH category industries, major accident hazard, as per the regulation concerned MSISC rule, manufacture, storage of import and hazardous chemical rules. So under that, whatever the industries comes on the basis of the process and threshold quantity storage of the defined chemicals of the different schedules are given, schedule 2, 3, 4. So accordingly, it applies only those industries who have the threshold quantity of chemicals. For example, if you will see the styrene, this Vizag incident, that also comes as per the threshold quantity. Under that one, audit was also done and findings were also there, and later on there was also legal action was also taken against the concerned authorities. So if you will see the legal platform on the process safety, it does not directly comes or directly relates, but as per the threshold quantity of the defined chemicals based on the toxicity, flammability, reactivity, and this one, there is a detailed list. Around 600 chemicals are listed. So based on that, it is decided.
So, sir, questions for Sanjay sir. How we measuring and computing safety?
Measuring and computing safety.
Yeah.
You see, safety is always measured in two terminology, that is called leading indicator and lagging indicator. Okay, leading indicators are those sets of parameters which indicate what industry organization doing to prevent happening or causing of accident. Number of training hours, number of audit, number of inspection, number of innovative ideas, implementation, number of Kaizen in safety. These are all leading indicators, which is the number which influence the result. Then second part out comes lagging indicator or reactive indicator. Number of near misses per month, frequency rate of accident, incidence rate, then number of LTI, number of medical treated injury, fatality. So these are all, there are PS codes available on computation of frequency rate, severity rate, and other, which defines lagging indicators of safety.
Is there a thumb rule or prediction that this many near misses will lead to a major accident?
Yes,
This question is for Sanjay sir.
yes. It's 1:3:30, 300. These are the rules available based on industry experience.
And if you will, if participant can look in detail, that the Henry's theorem
Yes.
that applies.
Sharma sir, can we take the cost to safety as a part of cost to quality?
Cost to safety to cause of
As a
quality.
part of cost to quality.
Definitely, because the quality is not in term of only the product quality in terms of each and everything that represent the overall business, overall implication, or you can say the image of the company. And quality, if you will see with reference to the internal customers means different departments. Different department means engineering department, quality control, then your operation, then within engineering department also utility, under different utilities, boilers, then developed water systems. So many things are there. Then quality relates with each and every process. So ultimately, safety relates with the process of or activity with the individual process within the factory or industry. So ultimately, it relates to the quality through the cause of safety.
Yes, sir. Sir, question is for Sanjay sir. What is the main thing in occupational safety?
Main? Repeat it.
Main thing in occupational safety.
I could not get the question. What is the meaning of main thing?
I don't get it, the question. I will ask the next question to you. Just a minute.
I think, Mr.
Yeah, you can say, sir.
Actually, I think that occupational safety, they want to understand what is the basically concept of the occupational safety. So occupational safety means relates with the occupation related activities. So any type of occupational related activities, that is termed as occupational safety. For example, process safety, as we also discussing on that one. Process safety means related to the specific process, and in that process also defined in particular with the hazardous processes. So occupational safety generally relates with any occupational activity.
So next question is how to calculate risk factor. Question is for Sanjay sir. How to calculate the risk factor?
How to calculate the risk factor? See,
yeah,
this is again there's two factors: probability and severity. And different industry uses different segments: 1 to 4 matrix, 1 to 5 matrix, or 1 to 3 matrix. Okay, multiplication of matrix gives a chart, and then we decide what is tolerable for the industry. Suppose 5 to 5 matrix some industry is using. 5 into 5 is the maximum 25 score, 4 into 4 is the 16 score, 3 into 4 is 12, 2 into 2 is 4. Maybe some industry is deciding 8 is the score which is tolerable for the company. 8 to 16 is moderate risk. 16 to 25 is high risk. For high risk, we will not tolerate anything. We have to act engineering control, administrative or personal control. For medium risk, we have to do this. And all risk having a score 8 or less is acceptable to the company. So this definition varies from company to company. Okay. So one criteria is not applicable to all. See, the matrix may remain same for a different company, but actually the risk level is to be taken decided by the company concerned. How much they can accept, tolerate, and beyond what they cannot tolerate. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay. Rajesh sir, over to you.
Okay, sir. I think Ujjwal has asked all the questions. I think one question which was asked in the beginning has not been raised on this platform. So I would like to just repeat that question. In the beginning, one of the participants asked that the same company who's monitoring and enforcing the safety rules, but when there is a production requirement, when there is a peak production or the target has to be met, the same company is also enforcing the employees to bypass the safety rules. So how to tackle this situation?
This is what is the problem, Rajiv J. Independency must be maintained. Even in the audit, there is a requirement the person who is performing that duty should not do the audit, on who is related with that particular activity directly, indirectly, should not be auditing that. So independent, he should be independent of the operation. Definitely he should have knowledge, skill, understanding of the operation, but independent. Here conflict is coming up. Unless until we prevent the situation of conflict, will not lead to a fruitful result. On one hand, we'll keep on talking about safety in boardroom, and other hand, once after the boardroom, once out of the boardroom, we'll keep on compromising on safety.
I think yes, sir. I think rightly said. It was very appropriate answer. So whatever the company has to take not take decision, but has to put the thing on priority. That safety has to come first, and then production, of course. And if they can combine both the things together, it would be a wonderful situation. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sanjay sir. I would like to highlight some of the few takeaways from your session. Uh, in the beginning, you rightly said in the construction industry, the ratio, if you see, as compared to the industrial accidents, of course, in the construction industry, accidents happen to be more. So, I mean, I was taking one session and on the construction safety, and I was asked why this is happening. That in the construction industry, the accidents are happening more as compared to industries. So I didn't know. I mean, I don't have much idea about safety, but I tried to answer that question, saying that in the construction industry, the things, the situations you cannot predict. In the industry, the process once gets streamlined, the methodology gets streamlined, and everything is happening as per the operation rules. But in the construction industry, every time the situation gets changed, and most of the times the workers who are working on in the for the construction, they are the uneducated or unskilled laborers. So it is very difficult to teach them about safety rules. A person who is working in the industry, he has having some basic educational qualification. If we talk about safety with that person, that it makes more relevance to him. But talking about safety to an unskilled labor who's working on construction site is little bit challenging. So that is why it might be the reason that the in the construction industry the accidents are happening more. Second thing, sir, I like the methodology of your session. After every few slides, you were recapitulating the things just to make the participants more attentive. And the third thing which I liked about the session is that you you try to make the root cause of the industrial accidents very conspicuous, very prominent. generally in most of the sessions we talk about the rules and the regulations related to the industrial safety, but you talked about the behavior and the attitude and the emotions, which are the, I think, the main key or main root causes of industrial hazards or accidents, because everything comes from the mind and the brain. Everything originates, even a disease originates from your brain and mind. So it's a kind of a disease or disorder. It was perfectly highlighted in your, and very minutely. I think they were the very fine lines which you made very prominent in your presentation, which we most of the time tend to ignore those fine lines. So that was the best part. And the last thing which you said, that your followers will not listen to your advice; they will see what you are doing. So even it is also happens in our houses. The kids, they don't listen to your advice; they follow you what you do. So I think that was very rightly mentioned in the presentation, that whatever the managers or the owners are doing, only the workers who are at lower level, they will implement and they will follow. So it was a very informative and very different kind of session, because you talked more about behavior and attitude. So it was like just because we see the industrial safety from different perspective, but you have tried to highlight those perspectives we most of the time which we ignore or which do not correlate with these perspectives. So it was a very wonderful session. I thank both the speakers, and both the sessions were very informative, and I think the participants must have enjoyed both the sessions very well. And I request if the participants, even if they have question right now, they might not be having any question to ask. If they think of any question later, they can mail the question to us. We will forward the questions to the speakers.
Sir,
And
I have one more question. Actually, he has WhatsApp me one participant. What is a conflict job?
What is conflict job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can answer with an example. You see, there is a process that concreting is to be done today. It will start 7 p.m. and complete by 10 p.m. Okay, and before concreting, access to be provided, proper access, so that concreting crew should reach that level where concreting is to be done. Okay, the architect and structural designer has to certify that everything is placed. Safety person has to sign. Work permit is to be prepared. This is all requirement before pouring starts for concreting. But when safety person goes along with the work permit raised by the person in charge of concrete pouring and inspect the work platform and other aspect, he finds lacuna in the work platform, and he finds that it is not safe. When worker will be standing there and vibrating machine will be working there, it may collapse, person may fall down. So he stops then and there. He says, no, I cannot sign the work permit. He cannot sign the work permit because the work platform or access is inappropriate, unsafe. Then he receives a call from project in charge, Mr. XYZ, you do not understand. 200 cubic meter concrete is lined up. If you stop it, what will happen to the concrete which is already produced and in pipeline? So give and takes start here. You will do this, you will do that, by you allow concreting. By the time concreting is going on, we'll manage, we'll strengthen the work platform or the access. This is called conflict. The same project in charge who used to champion safety cause in the boardroom that will not compromise safety for production is now forcing safety person to compromise safety, or is in fact he's just sitting over the safety of deciding over the safety function and ruling safety for production. This is what the conflict. You got it, sir?
yes, sir.
Continue, sir. Rajiv, sir.
Yeah, sir. I think both the sessions went very well, and participants must have enjoyed. And what I felt that in order to implement the industrial safety in a proper fashion, the ground reality needs to be checked. The ground reality where the actual safety measures will be implemented. So the ground reality should be in direct correlation with the safety rules. So safety rules, whatever we are making, they should originate from the shop floor itself. They should not be like very subjective or like policy kind of things, but they need to be more practical, so that these safety measures can actually prevent the asset as well as the human life. So in the end, I would like to thank on behalf of RD Kanpur both the speakers, Dr. R.K. Sharma and Mr. Sanjay sir. I would like to thank both the speakers for for giving their valuable time and giving such a wonderful information during the.
I think the Rajiv sir voice has gone. Actually, I think the internet connection has gone. Thank you,
Good.
Sanjay sir. And
Thank you very much. Let's wind
thank
up.
you, Sanjay. Yeah, actually, it is already 6:15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you, Dr. R.K. Sharma sir, and
Okay.
thank you, Himansu, and thank you,
Thank you,
Preeti.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you all the participants who
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sanjay sir.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sharma sir.
Thank you.
नहीं बेटा इतने ही है बेटा सब्जी